In this video, let us go over creating test cases using TestRail. A simple Google search on what is TestRail would retrieve back information that TestRail is a web-based test management tool. So then we would want to know what is a test management tool. Well, test management tool aids testers in managing all of their testing activities like creating test plans, test cases, defects tracking and reporting activities. So let us get started with TestRail. The first step would be to create a project. As you notice, we do not have any project created. So I'm going to click on the Add Project button to create a project. I'm going to be naming this project as Nikshay Infotech for the demonstration purposes here. TestRail allows you to use different repositories for your test cases. You can either use a single repository for all of your test cases, or you can use a single repository with baseline support, or you can use multiple test suites to manage your cases. I am going to go with the one which TestRail recommends, which is using a single repository for all of the test cases. So a new project by name Nikshay Infotech has been created. Here we can add milestones, test runs or test cases. I am going to be clicking on the add milestone. So milestone is an important activity in your testing which could be something significant. It could be also related to goals in your testing activity. So we are going to be adding a new milestone by the name release 1 and give it a sample description. Start date and end date is very important in milestones. So we are setting up the start date and end date for this particular test milestone that we have created. So when I click on the add milestone button, the milestone gets added to the project. We can start the milestone by clicking on the start option next to the milestone you have created. When we click on it, the start date and end dates will be shown in a dialog window wherein you can reconfirm those dates and then click on the start milestone. When you click on the start milestone in that particular dialog window, your milestone gets started. So then in this project, so far we have created a project and then we have created milestones. Next, let's create test cases. Test cases can be created by clicking on the test cases in the menus at the top. When we click on the test cases, we have the option of either adding a section or adding a test case directly. In here, we are going to be adding few sections in our project. Since our application is a web application, we have sections as header section, footer section, left rail section, right rail section and center content section, etc. So for demonstration here, I have created two sections, header and footer sections. We are going to be grouping our test cases under these sections. Once you have created section, you have options of adding a case or adding a test case. Both refer to the same. Adding case would add only the test case title, whereas clicking on the add test case would take you to a different screen where you can create the actual test case. So for sample purposes, we are going to be creating two test cases, one for the sign up functionality and other for the sign in functionality. If you had created sections previously, the list of sections will show up under that section field. Under the template field, we are going to be opting for test cases in the text template. Other option that was available is test cases in the steps format. The next field refers to type, wherein what kind of test case is this? Is it a functional test case? Is it an acceptance test case? Or any other type of test case? So we will go with the functional test case option. Leaving other fields to default values, the next field is preconditions. So in preconditions, since this is our first test case, I am going to be keying in not applicable. The next field is steps field. So here we will be listing the steps clearly for the particular functionality. So since we are writing the test case for sign up functionality, we have listed few steps for the same. Giving in the expected result and clicking on the add test case button. Our first test case has been created, and as you notice, whatever we keyed in while creating the test case is showing up in this screen. So this is how we create test cases in the TestRail tool. Try creating some sample test cases and let us know if you have any questions.